If the CIA spent decades trying to leave the human body, is the reality they told you really real? It's easy to laugh when someone mentions astral projection, expanded consciousness, or parallel dimensions. But it's harder to laugh when you find out there's an official document, signed by scientists and military personnel, detailing step-by-step how to do exactly that. The so-called gateway process isn't cult talk. It's a technical manual designed to hack the human mind and break free from the prison of the five senses. In this video, you'll understand why your consciousness isn't trapped in your body, and how that changes absolutely everything. You'll see how sound techniques, REM sleep, and even quantum physics show up to prove that the material world is just the tip of the iceberg. And if all of this is true, what else have they hidden from you? Imagine finding out that the CIA, yes, the same one that monitors governments and writes espionage manuals, spent decades researching how to leave the body. Sounds like cheap sci-fi, right? But it's real. A secret document hidden for years describes something called the gateway process, a set of techniques to expand consciousness beyond the limits of matter. And it's not some Instagram guru's rambling. We're talking quantum physics, relativity, and ancient mystical traditions stirred into one pot. The gateway process is like a user manual for the human mind, except it's written by scientists, spies, and maybe a few monks in absolute silence. It brings together what Einstein theorized, what Buddha meditated on, and what modern physics is still trying to grasp. That reality isn't just what we see, touch, or pay bills in. There's more behind the curtain, and this technique might just be the key to opening that door. Or better yet, that portal. But before you write this off as another esoteric delusion, know this. It's not about belief, it's about experience. The document doesn't speak of faith, it speaks of method. And that's where the weirdness and the curiosity begins. Because if even the CIA wanted to understand how to project the mind beyond the body, what did they actually find? The real point of the gateway process isn't just to make you float or feel like a spirit on vacation. The real mission is to free consciousness from the shackles of flesh, without dying, of course, and access other dimensions of reality. And it sounds more like advanced physics than medium mumbo-jumbo. The study suggests that with proper training, the human mind can literally bypass the laws of space-time, like the Matrix, but with brainwaves and headphones instead of colored pills. Think about it. If you could switch off your body like turning off Wi-Fi and keep functioning only with your mind, where could it go? According to the document, to places, or states, that defy all known logic. Dimensions where time bends, the self dissolves, and reality feels like a lucid dream funded by quantum mechanics. The body becomes just a shell, and consciousness, a limitless ship. But don't get too excited thinking you'll just lie down and bliss out. This journey takes mental, emotional, and spiritual prep, and a solid dose of courage to face the unknown, especially the parts that live inside you. Because before exploring other dimensions, you might have to confront the black hole of your own ego. Out-of-body experience. Just hearing the phrase, most people picture a ghost floating above their own body, like a B-movie cliché. But the gateway process claims there's nothing supernatural about it. It's just applied science with discipline. According to the study, the OBE is like a perception upgrade, an advanced way to run your mind without needing physical hardware. Like running heavy software in the cloud because your device can't handle it. In the document's view, the OBE is the main doorway to access parallel realities. And it's not meant to be a random trip, but a controlled experiment. The person learns to separate consciousness from the body with technique, like a test pilot exploring an unknown dimension. The goal? To expand consciousness, access information beyond the physical brain's limits, and maybe realize that reality is a lot more flexible than school ever taught you. But here's the kicker. If you can see yourself from the outside, who are you really? If your consciousness doesn't need your body to exist, then what is the body? An avatar? A prison? A temporary device? The out-of-body experience isn't just a phenomenon. It's a question disguised as a feeling. Now check this out. The CIA funded research on how to use sound to hack the brain. Yes, sound. The technique is called Hemisync, a kind of spiritual DJing that syncs both hemispheres of your brain using audio frequencies. While you're listening to the beat, your brain enters a controlled trance state, like meditation on steroids. The result? Deep relaxation, extreme focus, and in some cases, that famous feeling of detaching from the body. But it's not just any ambient noise. These are binaural sounds, strategically designed to induce specific mental states. An unsynced brain is like a static-filled radio. You hear but don't understand. A brain in Hemisync? It's like tuning into the frequency of the invisible. There, you don't just meditate. You project, expand, get lost, and sometimes get found. And before anyone dismisses this as just another relaxing YouTube track, know this. Some people have been training with it for years, reporting OBEs, deep insights, and even contact with non-physical intelligences. But of course, you have to practice. This isn't spiritual fast food. It's more like cosmic slow cooking. With patience. Now let's talk about what no motivational quote ever mentions. The struggle. Trying to leave the body isn't as easy as lying down, putting on headphones, and becoming an interstellar monk. Truth is, many people freeze before liftoff. Fear, mental resistance, anxiety, all of it screams louder than the Hemisync track. If you've never done this before, the idea of leaving your body sounds more like horror than enlightenment. One of the most common obstacles is the fear of not coming back. And let's face it, the mind loves to turn the unknown into a threat, but the gateway process teaches how to face this fear, gradually, like training wheels for astral travel. It's like learning to swim. Panic at first, then you realize you're not drowning. You're floating in another dimension. Another issue? Relaxing. Sounds simple, right? Just relax. But real relaxation, mental and physical, takes training. Breathing techniques, visualizations, even self-hypnosis are part of the toolkit. And the more you train, the more your body learns to stay still, and your mind learns to fly. Okay, so you left the body, floated, saw some lights, maybe even chatted with a being from another dimension. Now comes the tricky part, returning. And no, it's not as automatic as waking up from a dream. Many people report confusion, disorientation, a feeling like, where am I and why do I have fingers? Because when consciousness returns, it has to relearn how to inhabit the body, like putting on tight shoes after walking barefoot through infinity. Returning is hard because during the OBE you lose physical reference points. Time and space get squishy, and the mind quickly adapts to that freedom. Problem is, the body's still there, waiting for the system reboot. And sometimes the reboot glitches. Headaches, dizziness, feeling out of sync. But the gateway process doesn't leave you stranded. It teaches anchoring techniques, creating reference points before you leave, so the return feels smooth. Like leaving a light on in your room so you don't trip when you get back. With practice, re-entry becomes graceful, almost poetic. And most importantly, you realize that moving between worlds isn't a rupture. It's a conscious transition. Now here's where it gets truly interstellar. When the practice deepens, consciousness begins exploring what the document calls other dimensions of existence. Not metaphorically, literally. We're talking parallel realities, realms where time isn't linear and the self blends into everything. The mind becomes an explorer of the invisible universe, where even communicating with other forms of life becomes possible. And no, it's not just sonic psychedelia. Many people report contact with entities, forgotten memories, even pure fields of information. Like the collective unconscious, the Akashic records, or the cosmic Google Drive became accessible. The more you train, the clearer the signal. What once felt mystical starts to feel technical, almost scientific. But here's the twist. The deeper you go, the more you realize everything is connected. The boundary between you and the universe begins to dissolve. Consciousness stops being yours and becomes ours. And then comes the real revelation. The journey isn't outward, it's inward. If your consciousness isn't confined to your body, why are you still living like it is? How many of your decisions are based on fear, conditioning, or the illusion that this is all there is? The real question is, what if you could train your mind to access information, insights, and realities that go far beyond the visible? What's stopping you from starting now? Fear, doubt, time? Or maybe it's your ego whispering that this is too out there. Maybe it is. But sometimes the most transformative journey is the one that starts silently, inward, and takes you to a place where truth doesn't need proof, only presence. If this sparked something in you, drop a comment. What would you do if you could leave your body today? What dimension would you explore? And of course, if you want to keep diving into these frontiers of science, spirituality, and consciousness, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and share this video with someone who needs a reality reboot. I'll see you on the other side.